Welcome to the Creative Brew, helping you keep your creative juices brewing. We're giving out chunks of insight, motivation, and practicality for your creative journey. My next partner is Elevate Coffee Trading, and if you appreciate specialty coffee, enjoy outdoor adventure, and love helping elevate the lives of children around the world, then you're going to love Elevate Coffee Trading. Their mission is to extract hope through love, coffee, and adventures. There's free shipping in the United States, and every bag of coffee helps sponsor health and education for children in coffee-producing countries and in areas of need in the United States. You can use promo code Elevate21 on your next order, and you can follow their journey on social media at Elevate Coffee Trading. Or you can visit online at elevatecoffeetrading.com, and let's start extracting hope together. And this episode is brought to you by Baba Coffee, smuggling good vibes. Baba roasts their coffee beans each week and only offers the freshest coffee. They have espressos, lattes, cappuccinos, pour over, or drip coffee. You can try their cold brew coffee, nitro cold brew, or bulletproof coffee, and boba milk teas. They also have a wide assortment of delicious food. I would suggest you try the avocado toast, mimosas, wine, or beer. On the weekends, you can check out some great music like the Soto Six and food like Eliza the Shelf and others over the weekend, every Friday and Saturday, beginning at 6 p.m. You can check out everything they got going on Facebook and Instagram at Baba Coffee. And welcome to a new episode of Creative Brew, giving you insights on your creative journey. Today is episode 250. So, we're celebrating 250 episodes of the show. It's been a great experience. A lot of hard work. I think for people that, that produce shows and produce podcasts, there's a lot of work that goes into it. So, for me, I am in gratitude for everyone that's listened, everyone that's supported, and any way, form or fashion. If you sponsor the show, if you just help support, share out snippets of the show. Like I said, that's what keeps the show growing, and that's what hopefully the show is providing some kind of value for you. So thank you for, like I said, thank you for keeping us going. I definitely appreciate it. So episode 250, I'm actually going to go through and I wrote down just some things after 250 episodes, just some things that I've learned over the course of 250 episodes, just people that I've brought on, lessons learned, just creative tips, words of wisdom. So I just wrote down like this, just a small list of things that maybe things that I use personally in my professional work, in my creative work, or just in life in general. And hopefully these tips helps you out. So this is what I have. This is my list. This is the things that I've learned after 250 episodes of the show and all the people that I've brought on. This is what I've learned. First of all, follow the breadcrumbs. This is actually something that me and one of the guests, one of my guests, Eliza, we talked about in a episode, and we talked about just following the breadcrumbs, understanding those. And what I mean by breadcrumbs is those gut feelings, that intuition, the maybe the path that you're supposed to be going, but for whatever reason we find ourselves veering off. Maybe we feel like we know better, and we feel we go a direction that maybe isn't suited for us. We always get those hunches. We always get those things that we're supposed to be doing. Maybe that path we're supposed to be going. I urge you to just to follow the breadcrumbs. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be easy, but it's gonna be worth it. And this is what makes your story. Understanding that going after following the breadcrumbs. Yeah, you're gonna have some challenges. You're gonna have some successes. You're gonna have opportunities. It's gonna be some incredible people that you meet. It's gonna be things that you learn, things that you lose. But this is all part of your great masterpiece. It's all part of your story. But I do urge you to go after those breadcrumbs. You can either chase it, you can either follow it, or go the path that maybe you feel like is a little bit more safer. But man, is it gonna sometimes you get down to the to later on in your life, and you feel like, man, I probably should have went the direction that maybe was pulling in my heart a little bit. I just urge you to go after it. It's not too late, but just follow those breadcrumbs. Next thing I got is success loves speed. This is something that I got from my friend Taisha. She is a PR expert, and she talked about success loves speed.
So being as far as what she means by that is like going after something. If you got an ideal, if you got something that you want to pursue, find ways of going after it. It could be a small ideal, it doesn't matter, but find ways of just getting the actions, getting the energy necessary to go forward with those ideals. Try to execute. Uh, I I do urge you to execute on ideals. Uh, that's where the quote unquote success comes in. If we sit there and we sit on our laurels and we procrastinate, you don't know when those opportunities are going to come. Maybe we're feeling like there's a time for us to be perfect, to launch. It's never going to be a perfect time. So figure out ways of just if you've got an ideal, figure out ways of just launching just a snippet of the ideal, launching whatever product, whatever service, whatever ideal that you have. Success will come after. So don't chase that. Success, it'll come after you actually execute on the ideals. So that was a great tip. Something that I'm learning constantly is learning not to like I said, just execute on ideals. That is the biggest thing that we can do as creators, as entrepreneurs, as just people that's trying to make stuff, trying to create stuff in the world. Success loves speed. Another one I got is trust yourself. And this is something that I got from one of my other guests. It's just learning, and this is actually from my friend Sierra, is just learning it. Incredible musician, by the way. It's just learning how to trust yourself, trust that inner child, trust that knowing that when we put all our cards in and we bet on ourselves, that's when beautiful things happen. Sometimes it's really easy to lose that confidence, to lose that trust, and I think when we lose that, when we're sort of unsure about the direction that we're going, we can find ourselves in trouble. Maybe going in a direction that we know we don't need to, or maybe making a decision based off of comfort or feeling what's right, instead of just fully trusting and knowing that we bet on our abilities, we bet on our talents, we bet on the skills that we stacked. Um, find ways of just trusting yourself more. I find myself doing that even more. As I grow the show and I grow that I've got other things that I'm creating and building. Knowing that these skills and these gifts and talents were given to us for a reason. Our job is to put that out in the world. And I think if we can lean in on that, just trust ourselves, that's where the beautiful things happen. So that's what I got. Next one is reconnecting with your inner child. And this is actually something that this has been probably one of my bigger concepts with the show this year. And actually something that I spoke on at an art conference is learning how to reconnect with our inner child. Understanding that, you know, everyone has an inner child. Everyone, like all of us were children, all of us were kids growing up, and we found ways of using our imagination, being in that moment of just playing and not really thinking about the end results on anything, but understanding how to use our imagination, how to bring just invisible things out into the world. We used to be able to make anything we wanted to. Obviously, the more that we grow up, we stop practicing that creativity. We stop practicing that process of play. I urge you to stay with it. Not to say we all have adult responsibilities, but there's moments, all kinds of moments in our daily life that we can incorporate more play in our life, more using our imagination, using our resourcefulness. We do that on a day, try to do that on a daily basis. But find ways of just reconnecting with that inner child. Getting in moments where even if you're creating or drawing or writing, that you're not really concerned with the end product. That's something that I'm trying to reincorporate now, is finding ways of connecting with that inner child, knowing that I want to enjoy the process. I want to enjoy the play more than the end result, the product of it. I know, obviously, with a lot of us, we have to, we're always, appealing to our clients. Obviously, there's deadlines, there's projects that we have to work on, but find ways, even if it's our own personal project or our own personal thing, find ways of just incorporating more of that play. Find ways of just reconnecting with that inner child, and because it's still there, it'll always be there. if you reconnect with that. So that's what I got. Next one is consistency. Consistency is king. Um, this is a great one because we always find ourselves, and this is more for maybe my aspiring creators, maybe people that's getting into the creative field, or maybe just trying to build anything. Sometimes we fall in love with that end result. We fall in love with what could happen instead of making those daily actions to make it happen. Um, I'll say that again. We fall in love with what could happen instead of falling in love with the little actions, those small little actions to actually make it happen. So consistency is king. Find ways, daily actions of just going forward, whatever, however, you know, steps, whatever actions you need to take, find ways of incrementally going forward towards that destination. Um, Understand what needs to be done, and you keep going forward. That consistency that builds up over time. If you're trying to build a business, creating a consistent product over time, that's where you start to build rapport. That's where you start to build a brand. That's when you start to build your audiences. Is understanding consistency. It's really easy to maybe have come out with something huge, something big. um, your job is to figure out ways of consistently coming out with with a product that people love. So yeah, that's what I got on that one. That's something that's really huge. Um, is learning how to be consistent. That could be in our daily lives, that could be in our creative work, our business, our relationships. Could we consistently show up? I think once we get in the mindset of doing that, that's something that's a really incredible tip, and that's something that I've learned over the course of all these episodes. It's just being able to show up. I think once you do that, then that's where opportunities happen. That's where the people come in. That's where possibly maybe for my creators, for you, maybe those new clients pop up, those new opportunities. But you got to be consistent. So another one that I have, alignment over balance. And now we've heard this before. We want this work-life balance. At first when I heard that, I believed it, and the more that I stay in this creative field, the more that I'm doing all this work and doing various projects, and I for people that know me, I coach and I do all these other things aside from running a business. I'm looking for more alignment in my life than balance. I know now that it's going to be very unbalanced. There's times where, even with relationships, there's times where I may not be able to give all the time that I can, in that specific day. Sometimes, I think for most people, they're wanting everything instead of figuring out things that align with your interest, and then let everything work around that. Sometimes we try to spread ourselves out too thin. We try to balance. Hey, let's do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and we find ourselves not really going anywhere. Um, so find ways of getting in alignment with the things that you love, your interests, your pursuits, your dreams. Find ways of just being in alignment with that, and then have life work around that. Have your life work around what you're aligned to. What are your pursuits? What are your interests? What things do you say no to? What things do you want to say yes to? Just find ways of getting in alignment. So, and then the last one, your environment matters. I can't stress this enough. Your limitations will really be equated to what your environment is. If you get around, even for my creators, you get around other creative people. And this is something that was taken from my good friend Joel that runs Broken Reality Comics. Was finding ways of getting around people that you want to, that's in your maybe in your similar interests. If you're wanting to be comic book a comic book creator, or you're wanting to create ideals, get around people that's doing the same thing. Find ways of bouncing off ideals. Find ways of maybe you're trying to build a app, or maybe a brand. Find ways of getting around people that's doing maybe at that next level, maybe doing just a little bit more than you, so you can see what's actually possible. Um, you know, it's really hard. And this could go for my athletes. This can go for my creators, thought leaders, anybody that's, that's maybe trying to grow as a person, is that your environment will matter. It doesn't matter how much you work, how hard you work. If you're in an environment that's not conducive to your talents, that not conducive to what you're capable of doing, you will fall short. Um, and I've it's happened in my life, and I've seen it happen to others, to where people are built for a specific thing. If you put them in the wrong environment, they're not going to be able to thrive. Likewise, you can have someone that not really as talented as you get put into the right environment, get put into the right system, get put around the right people, and you see them thrive. You see them do incredible things. So your environment matters. So find ways of getting around people that doing the things that you would want to do, that aligns with your interests, and find ways of just getting around them. See how they think, see how they operate, see how they process things. I guarantee you, when you do that, your mind starts to shift, your perspective starts to shift, and I think from there, that's where you can create those masterminds. You can create incredible work being around people that's also doing their own thing. So that's what I got today. That's after 250 episodes. This is, these are some of the things that I've learned. Obviously, I could, run off, 249 different creative tips, going into episode 250. But I wanted to just get a small snippet of just things that's really important to me, things that's really hit my heart, and then I find, incorporating in my daily life, in all facets. And this is how I keep being creative. Hopefully these things help. And if you have a tip, let me know. Send me a DM. And yeah, I mean, I think everything helps. So if you got a creative tip, you got something on your own, please shoot me a DM. But these are some things that's helped me out. These are some things that I've learned over 250 episodes. So yeah, I'm glad to keep it going. And we've got more guests coming. And yeah, that's what I got. If you want to support the show, different ways of supporting, you can go to www.buymeacoffee.com/the Creative Brew. And for the price of a cup of coffee, you can help support this episode as well as future episodes. If you're interested in sponsoring and advertising on the show, we got packages for that too as well. Special thank you for Sans Coffee. We're here at Sans Coffee Roasters here in Oceanside, California. And I just want to give a special shout out to them. So just drinking a cinnamon and cardamom iced latte. So just a special shout out for Sans Coffee Roasters. So if you're in Oceanside and you're on the corner of Oceanside Boulevard and Camelot, you're driving by, hey, come by and check this place out. It's a nice day today, but it's a cool little vibe, great atmosphere to just hang out, chill out, do some work, talk, grab a coffee. And so yeah, I just want to give a special shout out to them. And always giving shout outs to my local businesses. So that's what I got. That's what I got after 250 episodes. This is obviously there's so much that I could go back to, but these are just some things just important things that I've learned and that I'm still incorporating, and I'm still using. So I hope to see you after 250 more episodes. So hopefully we get to episode 500 and we'll see what else we've learned. But we got some more episodes along the way. So special thank you for everyone that's listened, everyone that's supported, that shared in any form or fashion, that shared the weekly shout outs. I want to do my best to help small businesses, help creators, help organizations, everyone that's that's doing their own thing. I think all of us can rise together. So that's what I got. Be creative, stay inspired. All in those hard work, really nothing else. I resort to smoking weed, yo, cause nothing helps. Called the homie up, told him loot the sample up. We gotta come together now, cause I had enough. The time is now, there'll never be another one. It's a second lap.